Well, hello there. I'm glad that you're here today and you found the right place to be at 3 o'clock Eastern Time. I'm Marty Whitney. I'm with ARTitude Adjustment and I teach fun art, not fine art. So if that's where the direction you'd like to go and you want to be more positive about things that are going to happen today, just stay here. I'm going to wait for a cue right now while we're talking, and Facebook usually lets me know that it's time for another class, and then when that happens I can see your comments and anything you want to send to me. So that's what we're waiting on. Sometimes they take a few minutes more than I can imagine, but they're here. This is day 2, by the way, of painting a decorative bottle, and we're painting a white birch tree. So, okay, here it comes. Thank you for being patient. Should be here any second. Oops. Well, sometimes it just takes longer than you thought. Here it is. And Christine, thank you for being here. I'm glad that you're here. Your first time watching, well, you'll see that you'll just really enjoy fitting in with this group. I really like a lot of the people in here are friends of mine. Okay, I think we're ready. Now, PJ, nice that you're here, girl. And like I said, today, I think we've got everything hooked up now. I can kind of sit back and just talk to myself, or y'all can talk to me. ARTitude Adjustment is a painting class that I teach and all over the country. My husband and I are full-time RVers. Well, it's 3 o'clock here. And I teach at RV rallies, RV resorts, RV organizations. And right now we're at our winter base in Florida Grand Motor Coach Resort in Webster, Florida. So I'm always getting classes ready for the next rally that I go to, and it's starting to get busy. So if y'all have any good ideas, send them to me. So hey Lekka, I'm glad you're here. You must not have had to babysit today, so I'm glad that you're around. Okay, let me show you what we're doing. I'm going to try to give you a close-up of what we're doing, because you know how I tell you it looks kind of crazy with the, you know, whenever you start a mural and you start painting things and people pass by and they say, "Ooh, that's so ugly." Well, sometimes I feel like that in my first and second days here, but I'm going to show you what we're doing. This is a decorative bottle, and let me see if I can get a close-up. In fact, what I'm going to do is, there. That looks a little closer. Yesterday I put the little stripes on there, starting to get a little texture on here. And oh, I miss you too, Sandy. And you know what? If I see a white birch tree, guess who I think of? So Sandy is from New Hampshire, and she's put a white birch tree in her yard, and it's beautiful here at Florida Grand. So I haven't seen it lately, but I have to go by and visit it and tell her hello, the tree that is. So anyway, I've started doing this, and I'm going to show you how I paint a white birch tree. And I'm also, what I'm going to do is, let me see if I have just this bottle in here, I can show you, I can show you some close-ups. That may be a little too close. Nope. So I can show you a few close-ups of it. But while I'm painting, I'm going to put my little head in the little round disc, and we're going to paint together. So my color palette that I'm using today looks like this. Let me take you out of some zoom here. Okay, this is what it looks like. I've got greens, white, a lot of white, grays, and blacks. And I thought I probably would need a little bit of brown for contrast. Well, look who's here, Maureen Depsky. I'm glad you're here. So let me put my little head in that circle, and we'll start painting. If you have any questions or comments, I love to hear from the peanut gallery. Oh, making dog treats. George is gonna love that. I'm just kidding you. Anyway, you're missed. And Friday night is when I know if you saw my story, I put some pictures of our pine cone decorating contest. Let me move my chair over just a little bit. But anyway, let's see, what is the best way to do this? I might have a little too much glare. But this is what I wanted you to see. The strokes that I put on here are mostly horizontal. The light source is on the left. Remember when I started doing that yesterday? That's very irritating to me to have to cough. I'm gonna have to, okay, whenever you're painting a white birch tree, you'll do horizontal strokes. And I can see from here that this is not a real easy thing to see. Another couple of things I wanted to point out. You can do this on any decorative bottle. Yesterday it sounded like I wanted you to definitely go out and buy Colavita olive oil, which is what I'm working on. It's an olive oil bottle that had a topper. I think what's going to make this project very attractive, and you can tell me if you feel the same, is that when we put lights in here with a cork, it's going to be battery operated, of course, and it is just going to be like a night light. But you can keep it on during the day. I don't want you to see too many of my strokes, so I'll blend those in. You have to have, hey Jane, wow, I got the whole gang here today. I'm so glad you're here. And I'm just going to kind of blend these, this white in. Jane, PJ's here, and Maureen, and Leica, and we have someone for the first time. Hey Jackie, I don't think I've seen Jackie on here. I'm going to go back and forth from the grays and blend them in to the white, and that was a little too much gray. And oh, what you do here is you're going to have to kind of build this. If you don't, your tree trunk will be translucent. It'll mean that there's too much light coming through, and you'll see the imperfections very easily. If you notice, my strokes are a little bit curved. Oh, snow day in Indiana. Well, I heard they had a snow day in Kansas City and bad weather in Alabama, so we didn't have any of that here. We did have a rain a while ago, and I think there's some bad rain on the way if you look at the weather calendar. Like I said, my light source is here on the left. It's kind of difficult to see. I hadn't counted on that. Occasionally I'm going to go out of this and then I'll give you a close-up or a zoom in to see this. But this will be the pattern that I do throughout this project. is kind of building up these colors and then working with the details after that. Doesn't that look like yours? I'm glad y'all are talking. I appreciate it. Because we're all spread out. Okay. Now, when you get ready to do, there's some people that aren't here yet. So I hope they didn't run into bad weather. I have a brush that has a real pointy part of it. And so I'll just kind of make these things you see on them. And I wanted you to just see that so you'll know how to do it when you start painting on yours. I'm not saying just you have to do a white birch tree, because I just loved this white birch tree shining through the lights, and the green will be the forest. But that's kind of what we're looking for right here. And if you keep building on that, you'll have yourself a nice little birch tree. My cork lights have not come in yet. In fact, I'm about to look up the order and see what the problem is. Every time I turn around, Amazon's coming in here, so where are they? I didn't get these through Amazon. They were on the internet, so that could be an issue. I'll see. So, are y'all going out of town for Christmas? Now, let me show you how I started. Are you going to be in town for Christmas? We will go out of town and be back here on Christmas Day. Okay, I'm going to paint the background of a tree to show you as we work ourselves around this forest. This is the beginning of one. So this is just a gray. And I'm going to be doing something down here at the bottom before we finish. I am thinking, you know, kind of like a fern, what do you call a fern garden? But something with ferns in it. Now, we are not having a cookie exchange this year, and I'm thankful for that, real thankful. But we are going to bake cookies on Thursday if any of y'all are interested. That means you can have samples. Miss Linda is, now let's just see what this does. See, you just have to build this on the bottle, or it also wipes off. For some reason, it's a little bit different than working with glasses. This glass is. I'm going to need to get a smaller brush. So, have y'all been out shopping today? Do you think there's a lot of people out shopping? I didn't. The only time I've gone into town this week has been a trip to Hobby Lobby. Now, for us, Hobby Lobby is like 20 miles away, and you know what that means? You shop and you stop for lunch, right? Yeah. So I miss my shopping buddies. Okay. We leave here on Saturday morning, and we'll be back Christmas Day. I think I might have told you that. But we're going to be traveling about 3 hours from here going north, and we'll be visiting family for a couple of days, and then we'll be back here. So, Sandy, tell me what I can make. Keep in the refrigerator until the day I get back on Christmas Day. Now notice I'm just building up the white, and it's with horizontal strokes. And you know what? This is really a problem now because it's not letting me build until it dries a little bit. So you're going to run into that little problem. I like it, but I know it's kind of, you can't see what I'm seeing, can you? It's going to be pretty. So I'm just going to do some branches, but I'm going to come back and build those branches up because this needs to dry just a little bit more. Okay, so I'll take my big brush and I've got this one a little bit darker, and we're just going to work our way around here. I'm not going to take this one all the way. My light will be on the left-hand side, and like I said, after I get some of this on here, I'm going to be doing some horizontal. Oh, Lekka, you are so nice. I thought, thank you very much. And I've got too much paint on my brush. But the horizontal stripes make the white birch tree. And I know you know what I'm talking about there. And so as you paint those trees, let it dry a little bit, then go back and kind of blend it in. Yeah. Yeah. PJ, have you ever been to that Asian restaurant there in Franklin, North Carolina that's by the Walmart? My sister likes that place. She took me there when I visited her. And she said it's a family-owned place, of course. Can y'all see me? Okay. It's just really hard with this glass to see. Now I'm going to go back and show you the other one now that I've let it dry for a few minutes. This one. It isn't going to take that long to paint it. It's just that I'm going to be going back and putting strokes on after it dries a little bit. So go to this one, go to that one, go to this one. I bet, Sandy, I bet you are, oh, you have, wasn't it good? Now, it's not as good as that place where everybody likes to go eat, and I can't think of the name of it right now. But there is a place in Franklin, North Carolina that has such good food. I mean, good. This is gourmet, kind of. Well, it's not that it's gourmet, it's just that the chef is very knowledgeable. So I always, if I think of Franklin, I'm going to be thinking about that place. Yeah, the reason is that your birch tree is kind of on, it isn't like a horizontal, I mean, it isn't like a vertical tree. I mean, the bark on it is kind of, the bark is kind of, it's like this. It comes around and almost, you see this kind of the circles. And then I go back, and then whenever you do your trim on there, it's different colors, different white. So I can go in here now on the first one and probably get some paint to stay there so that even though the gray is on there, I'm trying to blend as much white, and I might not be able to do that until a couple of hours from now because it, but your bark is kind of, whenever you paint it, the tree is shaded and with horizontal lines. I didn't believe it either, but when you check out a birch tree, cafe rat, I don't know what you say. Now, and I'm doing this just to give it a little bit of shading, but this needs a lot of white in it. So I'm going to let that dry for a little bit. Let me see if I can do it here. And then you come back after it's dried a little bit more and put in more gray, and it gives it a texture as well as a little bit of shading. And that's going to make it look like the birch tree bark. Now, see, and then you come in after that and you put the markings on the tree. And this isn't my little bitty brush. Put the markings on the tree. That you see on the birch tree. I should be out in front of that birch tree looking at it. Love those markings. And up here in the trees, when this dries a little bit more, I'll be able to put some marks on this bark. I know. Yeah, we'd all like to go to that place. But let me think of some place we're going famous. Can't think. And you just keep going back over it and putting those marks in the tree and shading on the tree, and it will shape up. Now today, whenever I came in and I looked at what I had done yesterday, I thought, oh my gosh, that's so ugly. Because I say that every time. But you just need to keep working to make this tree appear to be round with the bark, because it is. It's not really a circle. And it's not, when you look at it with the shade and everything, it's not all white. There's gray in it, there's yellow, there's or kind of a gold, there's blue, there's so many colors in this. Just like in everything else, it isn't really one color. Our eyes see a lot. I know this is what I'm painting, is your river birch. Your river birch is one of the first in Florida, I think, that's really worked out. Now, I will continue, Lekka, I will continue to build up this. I think it'll be prettier when the light shines through it. I can tell it looks better right now than it did when I first started painting it. Let me see, I'm gonna get out of this and I'm gonna rest right up above. And let me see, I'm gonna do to show you, let me see, that one. Yeah, right here. And I'm gonna zoom in because it's so hard to see. This isn't cooperating with me. Every time I look up, the bottle's gone. Oh, this might be easier. Turn it the other way, Margaret. Yeah. There. Sorry for all that commotion. Right. The river birch has a lot of paper bark tearing off the tree, and leaves fall off this time of year, even though it's warm in Florida. Yes, and that's why I had painted just a sparseness of leaves that are going to be covered up with branches. It's going to look like the background has leaves, but they're not. I mean, this is just going to be the forest in back of these trees that have lost their bark. So stay with me. Stay with me. We're going to do this. But right now, I only have one little tree that meets my approval, and it's this guy right there. So we're going to do that. Well, pull it toward me. No, here's what I'm going to do. Wrestle with this bottle. Okay, there it is. There. You don't have to be coordinated for this position or technical. That's why I can do it. Now, I would like to thank all of you for being here today and helping me and giving. I really appreciate your suggestions. And Sandy, your river birch tree was the inspiration for me starting this project. I felt like whenever we put the quart candles in it, the quart battery operated lights, it's going to be a showstopper. So anyway, we're going to continue doing the trees tomorrow. And let me see, tomorrow is Wednesday. See, we've got till Friday to finish this. So if you want to start on a bottle while I'm painting, you certainly are welcome to do that. I would like it. Or if you have any suggestions, Lekka, you're full of suggestions on projects you'd like to see. I'm working on a couple of projects for rallies that I'm planning, or that I'll be teaching some classes. So we've had a real good season so far, and I'd like to thank you again for being here today. It's a great day to have a great day, so y'all just have a good evening, and if the weather comes through, I know everything's going to be okay tomorrow. Thank you so much. Bye-bye now.